Waltham Forest College is a medium-sized college in East London. It has roughly around 2016 to 18 age learners, and then we have an adult provision that's about 3,000 learners. In the past, a lot of delivery and CPD and staff development has been chalk and talk, workshop based. So as a college we decided to move to a more research based model to improve staff development. It was important to get a framework for consistency around the way we do that. So we developed a teaching and learning framework of bronze, silver and gold that departments could go through. We felt it was important that the staff self-assess against the professional standards. So we linked into that framework that all staff would undertake the self-assessment at the start of the year. Then they would undergo some development within their departments in the form of practitioner-led action research projects. And then at the end of the year, and they would review their progress against the professional standards by doing the self-assessment again.
As a professional learning mentor, I would introduce the professional standards during one-to-one sessions, and they would really open up a dialogue and start a conversation and introduce a framework for professionalism and give us something to work towards. That the practitioners can complete the online self-assessment tool where they rate themselves and identify their own areas for improvement. So it is really nice in letting them take autonomy and ownership of their own development rather than having changes or development imposed on them.
The standards have given me a good reference for where I need to be heading, obviously. Also, they've confirmed some of my own practices that I was unaware that were actually written down and set in stone as what I should be doing. So it was a good confirmation to me that I'm on the right track, that I'm doing the right sort of thing. I think for me personally, the key thing that the standards have helped me to do is realise that there's a benchmark for professionalism.
I have learning walks throughout the year, but I also have one-to-ones at Petra. So the one-to-ones give me feedback on how I've progressed in relation to the standards, and we also use that to incorporate into my DETS course as well. So we get basically 2 out of 1, so it works very well to do both. Vocational training, and the way we're always trained back in the day, was you observe one, do one, teach one. And that's the mentality I always had until I started doing my teacher training. So now, instead of actually saying, why can't the learner do it? What's wrong with the learner? You don't say what's wrong with the plant. If the plant's not growing, you don't look at you and say, well, what have you done to help that plant grow? So I go back to a lot of the stuff that's in the professional standards. If you actually look into it and think about it, it actually helps me incorporate what I do in a lot more effective ways. I'm getting better results from my students.
I think what I got out of it the most, apart from improving the practice, is building the relationships, which also builds links to one of the professional standards. So it's created a kind of a buzz around the college where we do really feel more like a community, where we are be more confident to make ourselves vulnerable and perhaps say, oh, I struggle with this, could you maybe give me some tips?
We're also a corporate partnership members, so all of our staff are enrolled as set members, and as standards and incorporating the professional standards was just part of that corporate membership package that we felt as an organisation was really important to us. This has really enabled us to look at our performance board process, so understand quite clearly by department what teaching and learning initiatives are having an impact.
It's differentiation within your department, so people are going to be weak in certain areas, other people will be strong. So in terms of that, it just allows you to personalise someone's development, and by doing that you have the effect of the whole becoming stronger.
We're just at the start of that journey, but we can see that the collaboration, the teamwork that those projects have already had a benefit to the organisation. And an example of that is just communities of practice. Our staff talking more about teaching and learning, talking about their own pedagogy and what they do in the classroom and how they can improve that, just so that we really drive practitioner-led action research development right through the organisation.